Pakistan has tried to put the onus back and on Kashmiris in order to tell the world that this is an indigenous movement by Kashmiris while they are being trained in Pakistan. I think there is an undercurrent, there is an ecosystem still alive in Kashmir, especially of course in Pakistan. This is happening by Kashmiris. They are doing this themselves, and Pakistan is not involved, while you and I and everyone else knows the truth, of course. I think now, because of the more concerted efforts in the world, but also in India, of trying to stop terrorist attacks, trying to attack the infrastructure of terrorism, these suicide bombings are a worrying trend, and I think they will continue more and more, because it has become difficult to conduct attacks and then just disappear and still be alive. So this is indeed worrying. I think there is an undercurrent, there is an ecosystem still alive in Kashmir, especially of course in Pakistan, through their madrasas which are operating there. And the worrying trend here is not the white collar trend. The worrying trend here is that more and more Pakistan has tried to make it appear as if this is a Kashmiri owned thing. In the past, India has been very successful at diplomatic levels in exposing cross-border terrorism by Pakistan, whether that's from Punjab, whether that's the Jaish, Lashkar, or even the Pashtun belt. More recently, what you have seen is that Pakistan has tried to put the onus back and on Kashmiris in order to tell the world that this is an indigenous movement by Kashmiris while they are being trained in Pakistan and they are being armed by Pakistan. As you see, during the last so-called Solidarity Day of February 5th in Pakistan, the various jalsas were not conducted in Lahore or in Pindi. They were conducted in Rawalakot, in Punch, in areas which are under occupation of Pakistan and which are Kashmiri areas. The same happening here. Now you have doctors, now you have Kashmiris who are getting involved or trying to get involved. So that gives Pakistan the plausible deniability of saying, look, this is done by the Kashmiris. And as you may remember, just recently, a new group also came into emergence, which is the Tehreek-e-Taliban Kashmir. Again, this is an effort to try to put the onus on Kashmir and Kashmiris so that Pakistan has plausible deniability in the world and can say this is happening by Kashmiris. They are doing this themselves, and Pakistan is not involved, while you and I and everyone else knows the truth, of course. India is a very big country. You can't, it's 1.5 billion people. Unless and until people themselves will not shun the path of violence, such incidents will of course continue to happen. There needs to be a counter-terrorism preparedness, and I think India has definitely increased that. At the same time, in such a big country with 1.5 billion people, incidents are bound to happen if people subscribe to radical ideologies and they have access to weapons and ammunition, which in this neighborhood there are ample countries which are willing to provide that to people here in India. So because at the end of the day, a big country like, or a very sophisticated country like America, 9/11 still happened. There are still terrorist attacks happening in Europe. So no country is immune to terrorist attacks. It is the people who make the country immune to terrorist attacks, and the neighborhood, countries in the neighborhood, other players in the neighborhood which do not indulge in states' sponsorship of terrorism. And I think this particular case also has to do with the fact that India recently started a relationship with the Taliban. As you know, the foreign minister of Taliban was here. I think the Pakistanis do not like that. The Taliban is Pakistan's brainchild. It's their Frankenstein. They created them, they armed them, they gave them refugee, and they made them good enough to fight the Soviets and the Americans. And I don't think the Pakistanis are very happy with this new relationship between Kabul and New Delhi.